On the 9th of February 2022, the Department of Biological Science of the Niger Delta University, in conjunction with the Parasitology and Public Health of Nigeria, the Bayelsa State Chapter, celebrated its 2022 World Neglected Tropical Disease Day, themed Using Media Outreach for Neglected Tropical Disease Awareness. The health awareness campaign, led by professors and lecturers, took to the streets of Amasoma to sensitize both the indigenous people and the student community on the dangers of neglected tropical diseases. Wilberforce TV media team captured every moment of the event.
My name is Dr. Oluwayemisi Agnes Olorode, and this society is Parasitological Society of Nigeria, and we are into the study of parasites. So this program is about sensitization of people to create awareness of neglected tropical diseases, which include some filarial worms like some filarial worms like Wuchereria bancrofti that can cause balantidiasis. Then we have some filarial worms like Dracunculus medinensis, the causative agent of guinea worm. Then we have Cryptosporidium parvum. This Cryptosporidium parvum is one of the protozoa that causes diarrhea in children and mostly adults too. And in our laboratory of today, many of our scientists have actually not going into that analysis when it comes to diarrheic stool being taken to the laboratory for analysis. And just because WHO has actually declared some of these neglected tropical diseases, especially the Cryptosporidium parvum, as one of the neglected tropical diseases, I believe that is why most of our scientists are not really going into that analysis in the hospitals. But with this sensitization, to create that awareness that most of these diseases should be taken into consideration, especially when it comes to laboratory diagnosis of some infections. We also have schistosomiasis. We have different types of schistosomiasis. Is one of the nematodes. Schistosomiasis is a trematode, and it is very, very common in our riverine areas where people just having contact with water, river water. And we are in Niger Delta region. We have a lot of rivers around us. Even right here in Amasoma, we have River None behind us here, because this Amasoma is an island. And we discovered that River None water is used for many activities by the inhabitants of this village, of this community, such as swimming, fishing, and all the rest. And many of our people in this community can be suffering from this infection, schistosomiasis, without knowing. So having this awareness, we also prompt the people to go for medical checkup whenever they have a blood stained urine, because it's one of the symptoms of schistosomiasis. And many just count it as there is nothing wrong about it. But creating this awareness, we make them to know that this infection is very, very deadly, and they need to look for a necessary solution. Just like from my own experience, one of the communities in Edo State, they have this Dracunculus in the community because of the kind of contaminated water they are attracted to, that is, they are attached to when it comes to the daily activities that are going on there. And one of the elders was saying that this Dracunculus is just a normal way. It's our culture that we normally have these dracunculus, that there is nothing wrong about it. Just because they did not have, they were not really, I mean, yes, they were not sensitized, they did not know what it means. So they felt it's just part of their culture. And every villager there has this dracunculus and they are living with it. And they believe that it's part of the culture. So creating this awareness, we let them understand that this is not part of the culture, it's an infection and it's a deadly disease that needs an urgent intervention. So having said that, I believe this program will benefit a lot of the people around us, so that they will know when there is any one problem or the other in their body, especially those of the parasites we have listed out now. They will be able to, look for a medical treatment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Dr. Ebenezer Amaulu, an associate professor of environmental parasitology and public health, Department of Biological Science, Niger Delta University. We're into sensitization of a common word they call NTD. NTD means neglected tropical diseases. And you may ask the question, why is it called neglected tropical diseases? It is called neglected tropical diseases because most of the NGOs and the sponsors of major parasitic diseases have taken this disease, some of these diseases, as a less important diseases in the world. And as such, they spend little time to sponsor the control of these diseases. And what are these diseases? They are of different kinds. We have the protozoans, we have the viruses, we have the bacteria, we have also helminths. For the helminths, it includes bronchiolitis, we have the schistosomiasis, we have the lymphatic filariasis, and we have the ascariasis. Lymphatic filariasis, a disease condition where you see people with the swollen limbs, swollen scrotum, swollen breast. And some person always mistaking this disease for poison. Say they have stepped on poison when they see their limbs swollen. And it always cause disableness. Once that disease condition comes to play, it never goes back to its normal condition again. Once you have a swollen leg, you have gotten a swollen leg for life. Now, people will ask a question, how did they get this infection? It is contracted through mosquito bite. A special species called Culex quinquefasciatus, and it's all over Nigeria. Here in Amasoma, you have more of Culex quinquefasciatus than any other mosquito. It bites and introduces worm into the system, and that worms generate what we call elephantiasis. Also have the schistosomiasis. Schistosomiasis are of two types, many types. The prevalent ones are the urinary schistosomiasis and the intestinal schistosomiasis. It is urinary schistosomiasis because the adult lives at the venous of the bladder. And it is called intestinal because the adult lives at the wall of the intestines. And because they always erode the bladder worms, it causes people passing out bloody urine. In most communities, you approach them, they look at your child, it's passing out bloody urine, especially the female. They will tell you that forget about this child. The child is in a menstrual period. And because of that, the knowledge, attitude, and perception of that disease becomes so low, and people are neglecting the disease. Not only individual neglecting the government is also neglecting the disease, because the control intervention of this disease is so low. People don't sponsor research into this kind of diseases. We also have the varicose ulcer, bacterial infection. See people on their own bringing a big sore on their leg, and you ask question, how does this thing come? Nobody knows the origin. It's an infection. And that's caused us. Also have viral infection, dengue fever. And dengue fever is caused by a virus that is transmitted by an insect, mosquito. Mosquito blackish in color and with white patches. We call it Aedes aegypti. They are supposed to be in the forest and cause disease of the monkey. But because of industrialization and urbanization, most of the homes of this mosquito has been destroyed and they come to stay in the human environment, causing disease in human. So they are zoonotic infection, disease of animal that has been brought to infect human being. And we also have the protozoan infections. The protozoan infection, trypanosomiasis, also called sleeping sickness. You may be standing and you are sleeping. And so how does this disease come about? It's also transmitted by an insect called success fly. So you see that most of the neglected tropical diseases are of insect origin. And how do you control this? You reduce insect-human contact. I've introduced a lot of control strategies. Use of bed nets to screen the mosquito from biting the human. And also when you keep your environment so clean, you find it difficult to breathe around your environment. So keeping yourself clean, keeping your environment clean will always help in reducing the burden of neglected tropical disease. So with this awareness, people will know that these diseases are within us and we are taking the disease for granted. And also government is not also playing their part. There's no much research grant that will help us study into in-depth research of how this disease could be controlled. I think with this sensitization, everybody will stand up on his feet. But individual will be able to play his own part in reducing the burden of infection. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
It was indeed an insightful program as we got to learn a lot about some harmful parasites and the importance of personal hygiene for our body and environment. I am Morgan A.B. Pamoe Harper, reporting for Wilberforce TV.
Observing personal hygiene.
You can get the stories and more at our website at www.wilberforcetv.com. Like, comment and share on Facebook and Instagram at Wilberforce TV. Follow us on Twitter and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Wilberforce TV, to get the latest information and updates. Wilberforce TV, we are the island experience.